The book describes paranormal events that took place on a ranch in the U.S. state of Utah between 1994 and 2004. For centuries, strange occurrences have been taking place on this ranch, and events that defy natural explanation have been reported by the local indigenous people. This is because not only the ranch but also the surrounding area is repeatedly affected. From missing objects to light phenomena and unidentified flying objects to cattle mutilations, the tales cover it all, enough to make the reader's hair stand on end more than once. Gathering evidence of these occurrences, however, proves to be extremely difficult, even as a team of researchers sets up camp at the ranch. Although they too are confronted with numerous paranormal events, and no one doubts that unusual things are happening at this location, documenting them is more difficult than expected. Somehow, these strange occurrences always manage to elude documentation. What's particularly odd is that many events take place during severe weather, which rules out many natural explanations outright. For example, in cases of animal mutilations, since coyotes generally do not hunt during a nighttime winter snowstorm. At the same time, however, this raises the question of who could commit such acts under such conditions, especially with a precision that is difficult to achieve even under ideal conditions. Still, the scientists manage to gather a few facts. For example, they note that some of these incidents are accompanied by magnetic anomalies and extreme odors. It also appears that many nighttime occurrences can only be detected using an infrared night vision device with a residual light amplifier. Telepathic messages received by some researchers indicate that an intelligence force is involved. It has also been observed, albeit more incidentally, that meditation can trigger paranormal events. Over time, parallels also emerge with well-known stories about forest creatures, such as Bigfoots or Sasquatches. Unfortunately, after some time, a certain frustration sets in among the researchers as they realize that it is difficult, if not impossible, to collect usable data for scientific analysis, even though no one doubts the reality of the events. Whoever is behind these actions manages time and again to evade scrutiny. This even goes so far that surveillance cameras and other equipment are damaged without any apparent way for the perpetrators to have even gotten near the devices. For example, on one occasion, the wiring was forcibly ripped out of 3 cameras mounted on a pole. The pole is within the field of view of a 4th camera, but nothing can be seen on that camera. How could the perpetrator have reached the pole without being captured by the 4th camera? Driven largely by a lack of evidence, the research group decides to investigate similar events in New Mexico, hoping to have more success there. But this hope, unfortunately, proves illusory. In New Mexico, too, there are plenty of eyewitness accounts that no one doubts, but very little concrete evidence. Over time, however, something happens that no one had anticipated. The paranormal occurrences at the ranch in Utah become less frequent. After several years with no unusual events at all, the research project is shut down and the scientists leave the ranch. The final chapters of the book take stock of this situation. One chapter describes the role of the media, which oscillates between astonishment and derision, leading to the entire area being overrun at times by amateur ufologists. A possible military involvement is also discussed, and of course the rumor mill is in full swing. Another chapter attempts to make sense of the events, though this proves difficult as the phenomena are so diverse that one is inclined to believe there are several different sources operating independently of one another. This raises the question, is the ranch perhaps a kind of central hub for paranormal activity? Could different phenomena be converging here? How are the hauntings and the UFOs connected? Are there unknown animal species in the region? What role does the military play, and what do the indigenous people know about these phenomena? Is it impossible to pin them down because there are portals to other dimensions on the ranch through which they can retreat? The book doesn't provide a definitive answer, but the very act of asking these questions makes it worth reading. The writing style is quite engaging, and the 320 pages, including the appendix, are a pleasure to read. Colm A. Kelleher and George Knapp, Hunt for the Skinwalker, New York 2005 Gallery Book.